Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to Cloud Test Lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Ankit, here, can I just ask one thing?
Go ahead.
So we can say that this data warehouse is dynamic, right? It's not, it keeps changing depending upon the queries we are making or the needs of the business.
I don't know how to answer this question as first, but okay. So it is something like this. It's not dynamic in nature. It shows historic data, but it updates itself every day. So basically the old data which is there, it's already there, with adding new data again. So I think it's updating rather than being dynamic.
Okay, yeah, updating I meant, yeah. I understood.
So it's updating itself again and again. Like now we'll talk about this also in a while, but since we have got this off right now, let's try to clear it right now. What happens in a data warehouse is basically something like this. You know, at times when you place an order, you see your order will get reflected in next half an hour or in 1 hour. Did you ever notice something like this? Like, you know, immediately when you're viewing your order or the report of the order, or for example, immediately when you're viewing the FedEx app, let's take an example of Amazon again. You place an order on Amazon and you're given a tracking ID. If you immediately check that tracking ID on FedEx, you get nothing. You will get nothing on that. So what do you do? The reason for that is basically the data from the Amazon system has not yet been updated into the FedEx system. Why is that? The reason for that is a data warehouse is periodic in nature. What you do is, it depends, it's subjective to how companies work. So some companies update their data warehouse every 1 hour. Some update them every 3 hours. Some update them weekly. Some update them daily. Some update them every 5 minutes. So due to that, you know, what does a database do is extract the updated information from the OLTP system, which is your database, which is online transactional processing system, and loads it into a data warehouse, which is also known as online analytical processing system or a decision support system. OLAP is online analytical processing system. Okay, so you get the data from, that is why you see that lag. So this is how, this is why we say it's updating in nature. Is this clear, man? Anybody else has a doubt in this? Okay, so now Prakash, the question was the difference in operational and transactional database. They are one and the same. Operational databases are also known as online transactional databases. Okay, so now what is a OLAP? OLAP is basically a DSS or a data warehouse. So let's talk about OLTP for now, and let's talk about the difference between the OLAP and the OLTP system. Now this is your OLAP system, data warehouse. When I say OLAP, I mean your data warehouse. Nilima, if you understand what is a data warehouse, OLAP is the same thing as a data. It's just different terminologies being used in the industry. There are three terminologies. One is OLAP, other is data warehouse or a warehouse, and the third is decision support system. Uh, okay, so let's go ahead. Now, when we talk, so when we talk about when we talk about OLTP system, OLTP system is application oriented. We just saw that. Warehouse is subject oriented. When we say subject oriented, we say customer data, product data. So it's customer, product, all these are subjects in the business. So it's subject oriented. OLTPs are used to run the business. Can you just go through this slide and tell me what is not clear? I want you guys to take efforts to understand. This slide is something that you guys need to understand more than I'll rather explain you. Okay, let's talk about detailed data. What is detailed data? Let's take an example of a product. Let's say take an example of iPhone. So iPhone, you bought an like I can see 5 names over JV, Nilima, Ravi, Preeta. You all 4 or 5 people bought an iPhone. So there are 5 entries in the transaction process stating that they bought an iPhone. But when you look into a warehouse, there would be a particular table, or rather the business would create a table where they are actually counting total number of iPhones sold. It's not who bought the iPhone, it's total number of iPhones sold today, or total number of iPhones sold in the northwestern region of America, total number of iPhones sold in Singapore, total number of iPhones sold in China. So it's summarized data. So basically, when a chief executive officer wants to know what is my yearly sale of say America based on the state, so you'll get the 4% sale has been in this region, 5% sale has been in this region. So you get aggregation or summarization of the data. Is this clear, everyone? Okay. Now there is one thing that I want to request all of you guys. There are a lot of questions which are like a person like which are specific to you guys. So like I'm getting personal messages on the chat regarding that. So if you guys can just do me a favor, can you just drop an email where you feel that some questions are basically like if some questions, if I'm not able to answer some of the questions, just drop me an email and I'll answer those questions to you in the email. Cpriya has a question. What is Cpriya has a question. What is ad hoc access? Ad hoc access is basically okay. Cpriya, you are the chief executive officer of a company, say Apple again, and it's access. The report access. Generally, what happens in the morning every day. You as a CEO want to see the report of the previous day. So it's an ad hoc access where the report that you want to see is the previous day report. So entire day, the only report you see is your previous day's report. Guys, if the audio is not clear, I guess we have to try the same thing again. Just drop off and join again, because I guess that worked last time also. Okay, so I had a question. What is OLTP? So OLTP is your loan database, your credit card database, your trust database, your saving database. OLTP is your operational database. Priya explained it very well. OLTP are daily transactions in the target. True, very true. Udi has a very nice suggestions out over here. So let's take that suggestion up. Can't we use SQL queries to do this? Can't we write a for example? Let me just reframe this question. can't we write procedures to load data from one database to another database? Why do the ETL flow? Okay, so what happens is, the SQL, when you were in school, for example, there's a particular thing that you're trying to understand, reading some like 5-page theory. So that is your 5-page procedure, and the same thing gets converted into a diagram, a UI representation of the same thing, and it's easier to understand. That's why we need ETL tools. In ETL tools, we can actually graphically design how things are happening. When you talk about a procedure, suppose if there is a change, suppose if there is a change from the business to add an extra column, you'll actually have to sit down, dissect your 20-page, 30-page long procedures. I've seen procedures which are 8,000 lines. And those procedures are like, it's very difficult to understand those procedures. There are a lot of loopings happening in the procedure. There are a lot of cursors going on. That's pure database aspect. Now that becomes very complex to understand. Hence, we have a ETL tool to simplify the entire process. Udi, is your question answered?
Ankit, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we also say that SQL is to manage single database probably, while ETL comes when we are dealing with different databases in different formats?
Yeah, so that is something again. Now what happens is basically, now that's again a good view of looking at it. What happens is one single ETL flow you can actually extract from 3 databases and load it. So, and if you're supposed to do that, you do the same thing using an SQL database. What you'll have to do is you'll have to write 3 separate procedures, and all 3 procedures will point to the target database. So again, that's a good view, a good way of looking at it. Who's this? May I know?
Manjari.
Okay, Manju, that's a very nice way of looking why we need ETL.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. So let's go ahead.
Ankit,
Yeah.
Ankit, I have a question. Isn't it easier to just query from different databases instead of integrating the whole thing and then extracting it? Doesn't it take more memory and more time to do it?
No, it doesn't. I'll tell you why it doesn't. Okay. So what happens is when you're doing it from an ETL tool, you're sent a server, and the server actually extracts the data. Suppose you are doing it using a query. Okay, if you're doing it using a query, what happens is basically you're running 3 separate queries in parallel. If you plan to run 3 separate queries in parallel, first of all there'll be database issues, because by loading the data, there are 3 people who are trying to load tons and tons of data. There are 3 procedures who are trying to load millions of rows into the data warehouse, and that's where data warehouse will die. If you use the ETL tool, everything is getting extracted into the ETL tool, and there's only one person who's talking to the data warehouse and loading it single-handedly. So it's a flow process. Okay, that is one advantage. Other advantage is the metadata stored in the data warehouse. So what happens is how many rows were processed, what time it took. All this metadata regarding your entire flow is stored in the ETL repository. Like the server itself has its own small database where it has all the information about your processes. And this information helps you to know if suppose there was a network failure in between, and all of a sudden your database transactions in the procedure, you don't even know how many rows were actually inserted and how many rows are left to be inserted. But in an ETL server, you'll know that. ETL server keeps a count of how many rows are inserted, how many rows are left. Does this answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thanks, Ankit.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. So again, this is like very simple stuff. I told that database is like data warehouse are like huge databases. Now there's this one thing which is important over here, which is redundancies are present. No data redundancy. Let's take it. There is no audio. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. There was only one who was not able to hear me. Okay, so what happens is when you talk about redundancy, let's go to the previous example again. Yeah, let's go to this example. now loan has a customer. Now I am a person, Ankit. I took loan from the bank. I have a credit card, and I also have a savings account in the bank. So my name will be there in the savings section, loan section, and the credit card section. I'll be an individual entry in the loan, saving, and the credit section. Now come to the data warehousing side, where you're basically extracting the data. I have 3 entries for myself. 1 entry corresponding to my loan entry, 1 entry corresponding to my savings entry, 1 entry corresponding to my credit card entry. Is this clear, everyone? This is data redundancy, duplicacy of data, repetition of data. Awesome. You'll be getting these slides. So I would rather like you guys to take this as a assignment, understand each and everything. If you don't understand, just send me an email. We'll take that over. Now, if you guys still didn't understand what a data warehouse or a OLTP system or a OLAP system is, this is the best way to remember. This is something that I answered in an interview also, like long back in my days when I was giving interviews. They asked me what is the difference between a OLTP system and a OLAP system. The only answer I gave is what I ate yesterday for dinner is my OLTP system. It's the fresh data, it's the transactional data, it's the recent data. What I had for dinner on 11th January or what I wore on 11th January is something that I don't remember on the top of my head. It's stored in my OLAP data. It's in the OLAP system. So this is the best way to understand. This has to make it very clear what is OLAP and what is OLTP. Another one is this. OLTP system is used to run your business. That is place orders, track orders is your OLTP system. Data warehouse is used to optimize your business. Optimize your business means now this is a super example that I actually always take at the end of the class. It's an example. So basically, when you visit Walmart or when you visit Amazon and you're viewing a laptop. So all of a sudden you get something like people viewing this product also bought this. People buying this product also bought this. That is how you optimize your business. Based on the past sale, you say the person who bought Apple MacBook also bought Mac for office, also bought an iPhone. So you actually show ads accordingly. Is this clear? How you optimize the business, that is used in a data warehouse. You actually try to identify patterns. Okay, I'll repeat this at the end of the class again. So if you didn't get it, you'll get it at the end of the class. Okay, so let's talk about this now. Now there are generic 2-level architecture that follow in like data warehousing. One is an independent data mart, and one is a dependent data mart, and an operational data store. I'll try to wind up this class in next like half an hour or so. It's basically a lot of the setting up of the system took a lot of time. Let's try to finish in next half an hour or 1 hour for those who are actually hearing it. Are you guys able to see the slide? I don't know what's wrong with this now.
Ankit, but it is little bit here, like we can view the slide. It is little bit breaking.
So what is it? This slide, I guess that's because of my screen resolution.
If you'll go on the next slide, it will be fine.
Okay, cool. So what slide are you guys seeing? Can you just tell me?
Generic 2-level architecture, independent data mart, dependent data mart.
Okay, cool. So basically, so now let's talk about this slide. So we will talk about first generic 2-level architecture. Now what happens in the generic 2-level architecture of say independent data mart. Now this is the general flow. Okay, let me try to explain this. You extract the data from various source systems. you transform it using your transformation process. You load it into a data warehouse, and then you get a report. This is what we explained so far. There is periodic extraction. Data is not completely current in the warehouse. I explained you this also. For example, we are extracting the data every 3 hours, or daily, or every 1 hour, every 5 minutes. So it's not real time. There's a small lag of say whatever duration. Say maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day. So there's a lag. So this is a general architecture. Now when you talk about independent data mart, now let's try to understand first what is a data mart. A data warehouse. Just try to be very clear when I'm trying to. If there's any doubt in understanding data mart, just let me know there and then itself. Okay. Now when you talk about a data warehouse, it will have various data. Now it will have data for finance domain. We will have data for HR domain. It will have data for say finance, HR, sales domain. Now all this data will be there in a data warehouse. An alternative would be divide this data warehouse into smaller cubes. Now that one cube, the finance cube will have only finance data. The sales cube will have only sales data. The HR cube will have only HR data. That is your data mart. Data mart is a subset of your data warehouse. Folks, is this clear? Okay, so now if you can understand this diagram, what's happening over here is we are loading individual data marts. Load. So one by one we are loading individual data marts. Okay. Now this is where you are loading data mart independently. There is no dependency on the data warehouse. You can actually later write another load process over here and load all this data into one more data warehouse also. Other approach is, this is a mini data warehouse limited scope. You guys can't see again. Hello. Can you guys hear me? I'll share my desktop again.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ankit, we can hear you.
Yeah. I'm just sharing the screen again so that you can see.
Yeah, we can see the screen also.
Oh, you guys can see the screen also? There are some people who are not able to see.
Okay.
So that was one view where you're basically loading the data mart. You guys can see the screen, right? There's some problem again.
No, Ankit, everything is clear. Even the voice and screen, everything is good.
What can you see on the screen?
Generic two-level architecture, independent data mart.
No, I moved ahead from that one. I don't know what's the problem with the WebEx server today. Guys, Peg is suggesting that we end the class today and continue the game tomorrow. So do you guys want to do that? I don't mind doing that, but it's
Ankit, please go ahead today only because yesterday also we were waiting.
I know. That is something that he's suggesting. I would not mind continuing. Just let me set up this meeting once again.
Sure.
Okay, I guess now you'll be able to see it. I can see changes happening here. It's like I'm using something called independent data map.
Yes.
But I.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, what I was explaining was these are mini data warehouses where you actually load them. There's a separate ETL process for each of them. You just try to understand this diagram. Is there any doubt in this diagram? Is there any doubt in this diagram? Okay, let's go ahead then. Let me just mute everyone. Yeah, so now let's talk about let's just do a final dissection on ETL process again. So basically what we do is we capture data, scrub the data, transform the data, and load the data. So this diagram should make things clear. Okay. Sindhu, I'll go to the diagram once again. Let's just finish the further part and we'll come back at the end of the class again. Okay, so now this is what happens in the ETL. Now first we basically capture the data, obtain a snapshot of the chosen subset of the source data from the loading. So what we do is basically we extract all the transactions which were recently made and we capture those transactions, and there are two types of extract possible. One is a static extract. There are two types of extract possible. One is static extract and another is an incremental extract. When we talk about static extract, what we do is we capture snapshot of a data at a point in time. So what we do is basically we will copy the entire database and we'll extract all the data from that database. That is something called as static extract. There is something called as incremental extract. So what we do is this. Okay, last time when you guys try to focus on this point, this incremental extraction is basically the crux of data. This is the interview question. What is incremental extract? Bindu, is my speed proper now?
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2K On our website H2K you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.